It's your boy Nando, and this is the Pound for Pound boxing show in association with Seconds Out Coffee. Today I've got a very special guest. I'm delighted to be joined by John Ryder himself. Let's see if we could get John right now.
How's it going?
How's it going, champ?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain.
I want to say thank you for taking your time to speak to us today. It's an absolute pleasure to get you on. You were the last fighter out of the whole Tony Sims stable that I needed to get an interview with. I've had all these fighters on. You were the last one, and you know what they say: save the best till last.
Well, I'm flattered. I'm flattered. You got my Achilles heel when Tony tells me I got to do so, I got to do it. So you caught me bang to rights.
Brilliant. John, first of all, happy New Year as well. How was your New Year's, your Christmas, just before now this fight that was announced?
It was nice. It was low key. Just obviously my partner and the kids, a few family members around Christmas Day. But other than that, just full steam ahead with camp training. Day after Boxing Day up until New Year's Eve. New Year's Day off, of course, and then back at it again. So not too much rest, but that's where I like it. I don't like sitting around too much. So it was nice to have a few days to sit and unwind with the children and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad to be back at it now.
Brilliant. It'll be good to see you back. Obviously, throughout December, we saw online the rumors of what could be your next fight, and we saw the rumors of who you could fight next. And this week, it was finally announced officially you will face former two-time world champion Daniel Jacobs. How do you feel about fighting such a big name in the sport as well, and in London?
Well, firstly, I mean, it's one of them fights that was put to me, and like you say, it was boxing's worst kept secret for quite a while. And I got to a stage where I thought, is this fight gonna happen? Because you're hearing about it for so long, and so many news outlets are running with it, and just hoping that it gets announced. And you're told it will get announced before Christmas, and then mid-Christmas, and then now we're a week into the new year, and it's finally announced. So I'm pleased. My goal stayed the same. I've been training for this date in mind, so I'm pleased that it's finally announced and I can really kick on. But like I say, to get Daniel Jacobs to London is a massive feat in itself. But to get him at Alexandra Palace, which is in the heart of North London, is massive for me. And yeah, hats off to Eddie and Matchroom for producing the goods.
I was going to ask that as well. That must have been the final thing about this fight that made it more special for you. Being from Islington, Ali Pali isn't that far from you as well. And what an event that will be there. Obviously, we just had the darts there. We saw the atmosphere. Just imagine now the boxing fans there.
No, I mean, for me, it's ideal. I mean, obviously, I'm from Islington. My dad lives in Barnet, got family in Enfield and Montford. So it's a real centre point for everyone to commute to and to enjoy a good night of boxing.
100%. I can't wait for that night as well. Let's go back to last year as well. The WBA ordered you to fight David Morrell. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. You were meant to go to America to fight him. Was there a reason why this fight with David Morrell couldn't be rescheduled? And where did Daniel Jacobs come from? How was the Daniel Jacobs fight presented to you?
Well, initially I was training for Morrell. I think it was penciled in for June originally. Eddie got me out to Dallas for the Canelo Billy Joe fight just to build my name a bit, talk to some American media, which I did. I went out there, then got back to the UK. A week later, full steam ahead in camp as well, still going. Got told that he was fighting someone else, and he boxed someone else. So then that was gone quiet. Then there was talk about it being rescheduled for September, but we was kind of spinning plates at the time, really, because we knew that the potential of fight with Bivol was there. We was trying to keep the iron in the fire for that one, and keep the Morrell fight on the back burner to try and just get the best leverage for whatever fight. But we decided to go with a Bivol fight. We thought it'd be better, but then obviously things didn't go to plan and didn't pan out, and he ended up fighting in Russia. So listen, it wasn't to be, but we had a meeting and a sit down with Eddie in early December, saying that we needed something big to, not necessarily something big, but we needed a big fight to get into early 2022. So here's where we're at.
And this is a big fight, despite obviously the one against Morrell was a WBA regular world title fight would have been a title fight. Fighting Daniel Jacobs in London, a former two-time world champion as well. He's been in there with them all, Canelo, Triple G, Chavez Jr., you name it, he's done it. And that's still a huge fight as well. How big is beating Daniel Jacobs a big statement for your career on pursuit for a world title shot?
Well, it's massive. I mean, like you say, he lost to the likes of Canelo and Golovkin. Obviously, Pirog was a long time ago now, and he's had an illness since then and come back from it. So, I mean, at the time of losing to Pirog, you don't know what was going on in his private life and how he was suffering from his illness. So it's hard to read into that. But as of late, the losses to Triple G and Canelo, I mean, they're pound for pound up there. Do you know what I mean? So he's no mug. He comes to fight and he comes to put on an absolute show. And I expect a tough night's work, but a tough night's work and get through and come away victorious.
Every boxer has an off night. His last fight was very controversial. A lot of people believe that he had lost that fight against Rosado. Did you see the fight, and what did you think of his performance?
Listen, I did see it, and it was a low output fight. There wasn't many shots thrown, but it's hard for some fighters. Like these fighters, they've been fighting in front of tens of thousands of people, and then you go to fight in an indoor small stadium with no fans, and I mean, you can hear myself, I could hear the ring wasn't done properly, and the canvas was a bit bouncing, a bit noisy, so a bit off-putting. But I mean, these fighters, I mean, Danny Jacobs probably used to fighting Canelo at the T-Mobile Arena, 20,000 screaming Mexicans at him, so he'll use that to motivate him. But I suppose for these kind of fights, it's hard to get up for.
For sure. And I've asked all these fighters this as well. Obviously, you're in camp now. What's it like being part of, arguably in Britain, the best stable in Britain? Because you've got so many great fighters as your stable mates and such a great coach like Tony Sims.
You know what? It's a great bunch of people. I mean, we are like a family, really. We're lucky to have the father figure, big brother in Tony, driving us mad, making us do. If something's hard, he wants to make it even harder. But it's only to get the best out of us. And then we've got the characters in the gym, which just make things a lot easier and life go by a lot quicker.
And I saw pictures today that you sparred Felix Cash. How special was that fight? And I can imagine how you two spar and how it is, because he's a beast in the ring as well.
Yeah, Felix is an animal. Do you know what I mean? But it's good. We're getting on. We're working on things, and it's just good to have. Well, I'm lucky that I've got people like Felix Cash and Craig Richards in the gym that I can use and work with. And I mean, Craig's just got back in camp and he's done 8 4-minute rounds today, so just shows you how well he looks after himself outside of camp.
100%. Obviously, never look past your opponent, but just a quick question. You beating Daniel Jacobs can set up some mouth-watering fights for yourself as well. You got the likes of Benavidez. You got an old foe of yours that's returned, Rocky Fielding, that could set up the rematch with yourselves, Lerrone Richards, and Caleb Plant. Out of these fighters, just style-wise, which one of these do you think a fight with you will make a classic fight in the future?
Well, obviously, I think me and Danny will make for a great fight. I can't see it being a bad fight if I'm honest. But all of them, I think the Rocky Fielding rematch is there. I know he's trying to pursue a fight with Caleb Plant, and rightly so. They're all pitching their routes to go, and hopefully it can come off. It's all good for the sport. Benavidez has got an eliminator, I think, against David Lemieux. So I mean, that'd be a good fight. I know I favour Benavidez heavily in that. I think Lemieux's well past his best, but listen, it's boxing. It takes one shot, and you never know.
For sure. One fighter that's been vocal recently as well, and he said it on several interviews, is he definitely wants the winner of this fight is Lerrone Richards. He just won the IBO title. What do you think of that fight? Obviously, past Daniel Jacobs, but you winning and they present to you the IBO title shot against Lerrone Richards. How big would that fight be for UK fans?
Well, come on, this shows you the thing of it. He's got the IBO world title, but it's calling out the winner of me and Jacobs. I mean, we're hopefully fighting this for a WBA world title eliminator. So, listen, he's making the right noise. He's done well. He's not put a foot wrong in his career so far, and he's been put in front of him. So fair play to Lerrone Richards. We've shared some man sparring in the past, and he's a talent. He's a good kid, but my path. And listen, if beating Danny Jacobs for a WBA final eliminator, I'll be looking to fight Canelo or whoever's in line for the WBA title.
Let's talk about Canelo. Last year he made history and became undisputed champion. Now there's talks of him going to light heavyweight, maybe even cruiserweight, which is phenomenal if he does that. Now today they're talking about him versus Charlo. You being in that division, just your opinion, how does that fight go with Charlo? Is it another easy fight for Canelo?
I don't think it's easy, but I think it's a fight I'd favour Canelo in. I don't know which Charlo it is he's fighting, they're potentially fighting, but their career light middles and middleweight, so it depends what weight they're going to do this at. But at the moment, you've got to favour Canelo, whoever he gets in against. Obviously, the likes of Beterbiev, it's a big ask because they're big lumps and they can absolutely whack. But, I mean, you're putting him in against the likes of Bivol or Joe Smith Jr., you've got to favour him heavily.
For sure. To be fair, whoever he fights, Beterbiev, Bivol, Charlo, Andrade or Makabu, you're going to get a big performance from Canelo as well. So wherever he does, hopefully he does go up. It'll be good for your division as well. If he starts vacating some titles, we can get some titles back in the UK as well.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully if he does make the step up to 175, then you can free up some of the belts at 168, because otherwise we're fighting with nothing to aim for. So it's a bit of a pain. So hopefully he can give up some of them titles and we can get some vacant shots at them. But listen, what he's doing for the sport of boxing is good. It's good Canelo business, and it's good for him. But I think if he's going up to light heavyweight to unify these titles and wants to be a 2-weight unified champion, fair play to him. It's all about his legacy and making history. But for us as super middleweight contenders, we need to be fighting for titles.
Deep down, if Canelo does go up and he vacates the title, deep down, would you be a little bit disappointed that you didn't get a shot at, even though he has one loss on his record, but let's say dethroning Canelo, would you deep down be a little bit disappointed that you didn't get that opportunity?
Listen, he says it himself, doesn't he? Payday. Everyone wants that payday. But listen, I believe that I could beat him and bring something that he's not seen before, but I'm not alone in that. Everyone, there's 100 other super middleweights in this world that believe the same thing. So listen, there's a queue of people queuing up to fight him, and it just depends who's at the front of it.
For sure. John, one question. I know obviously you have the ability and the physique as well to go up to light heavyweight. You were, the Bivol fight was presented to you as well. One question to you is, you become world champion at super middleweight. Would you welcome to go to light heavyweight and have the rematch with Callum Smith?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I want to put all these wrongs right in my career, and I mean, if the opportunity come up for that, then yeah, in a heartbeat.
Brilliant. And John, one more question as well. I always ask my guests this. Some answer it, some don't. the fight with Danny Jacobs, is it going the distance?
Well, listen, we're training for the distance, 12 rounds or less. So we'll know come February 13th. That'll be known for sure. But listen, it'd be nice to get the stoppage, but I'm just focused on winning.
Brilliant. Do you have a final message for the fans that are going to be tuning in and traveling to Ali Pali that night?
No, just already thank you. I'm humbled by the response to this fight. It's nice to be boxing back in London. I've not boxed in London since 2018. So it's nice to be back here and on my doorstep of Alexandra Palace. So please turn out, make some noise and make it as unpleasant as possible for Danny Jacobs. Show him how we do in London.
Brilliant. John, just want to wish you the best of luck that night as well. I want to say thank you as well for taking your time to speak to us today. An absolute pleasure. I look forward to meeting you in person as well. I'll be there at the press conference and bring that victory home.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.